So last night, Deshaun Watson took to Instagram and posted this. Steve, you can take the video full when you're ready. He was on a date with his, I believe, fiance, and posted a picture and a little video from this. This got social media up in a stir. Bull, you quote tweeted it. I know I quote tweeted it.
Yeah.
So our opinions are out there. Let's start with G and Tyvis, and then we'll get to you. But G, big deal, no deal. Do you have any issue with Deshaun posting this on Instagram?
Looks nice.
This is the wildest.
Looks nice.
Let me compose myself. Let me compose myself.
They living good.
I think they're on a boat.
That does. It's a yacht. That ain't boat.
Hey, now let me get this right.
A little wimpy looking dog.
Let me get this right. So, Deshaun Watson had surgery, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
How long ago did he have surgery?
He in a boot.
It was the week before Halloween, I believe.
He's walking around in
Okay,
a boot,
so
probably.
he had surgery. People, what do you want? So we sit on these shows, and y'all bombard me like I'm his agent. you bombard me. You know how many people added me about this? Like, and I'm like, bro, like, what are you guys talking about? I thought he was playing or something, catching the football. It was him, and I got to it. It was him and his girl eating pasta. I said, this is unacceptable.
On the water.
On the water.
It was beautiful.
Having
got the little dogs.
He just hanging out.
Yeah.
Did he say something about football? Nah, we didn't say nothing about it. Now, let me get this right. Every time I get on a panel, every time I go somewhere, people tell me, you know what, G. Bush, you can't have him in the building. We don't want no Deshaun in the building. We can't think of it. We can't even see his face. Just get rid of him. Get him out of here.
That's what they say.
We don't need him in the building. We need guys that's concentrating. Listen, no, under no circumstances can you bring him back. Okay, well, he had surgery. He's on a boat somewhere eating pasta. And I get, G. Bush, he's supposed to be dialed in with his teammates. Why ain't he on the sideline? He's over here while everybody's fighting to get scrap and get wins in the facility. He's sitting here having a nerve to have a meal with his wife. The nerve of this guy. Y'all guys, listen. When I grew up, men was not jealous of other men. I don't care where Bull, Jay, or Tyvis take their wives. If they want to call off UCSS and go on, Bull will be like, yeah, I'm going for 4 weeks. He all just wherever he at, just doing Bull stuff.
That's more Jay Crawford.
Jay Crawford has a meal like that with his wife 3 times a week on his own boat.
Yeah,
we don't even know where the boat is. It's tucked away secretly.
He's the only one amongst us that can afford a yacht.
So my thing is, I'm just looking like, you guys gotta stop, man. You guys are telling on yourself. You guys, there should never be that much animus for another man when he's sitting there. I get it. Maybe your wife don't look like that. I get it. Maybe
not many people's wives do.
Maybe you ain't got no boat, and maybe you can't afford to be. But listen, Jay-Z said it. Men shouldn't be jealous. That's a female trait. You can't. What you mad because you push dimes and he moves weight?
That's a sexist line by him.
Hey, listen. Hey,
and untrue.
Hey, you cannot like that. This is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever seen in my life. And the fact that I had to go on Twitter and look at this and see it as grown men sit here and just get petty in their bag, Tyvis. This is wild.
Ty, before you go, can I ask you a question real quick?
Me or G?
I want to ask you a question, Tyvis.
By the way, do you have my tweet? Because I want.
We'll pull it up in a second.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Tyvis.
Is Tuesday not typically an off day in a regular week in an NFL schedule?
Yes, it is.
So if I'm going to use a random name. I'm just literally picking a random name. If Wyatt Teller posted a picture of a date with his wife on Monday night before an off day on Tuesday, would anyone have an issue with that?
No.
The floor is yours.
Oh, man. I actually agree with everything that G said. You know, I don't know. I get it. I get where some fans is coming from.
I don't even get that.
I do.
How?
No,
Can you explain it to me?
It's what.
Can you explain that to me?
Go
ahead. Explain that to me, dog.
So this is what it is. All right. watch this. They see quarterbacks that get hurt. For example, last year the example was Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow and I think Deshaun both got hurt about the same time, around the same time. And when you seen Deshaun in L.A., he was in the stands, in the box. When you looked at Joe Burrow, he was down on the sideline with his teammates. So I think the problem is people got that in their minds, and they think that this is, well, he's done with the Browns. Like, this guy he don't want to play football. He don't care about the Cleveland Browns. You know, I think that's where people's minds go when they see this. It's like, this dude, they done pay him all this money, and he don't even care about that organization. He don't be around, none of that stuff. That's how they look at it, okay? The fact of the matter is, one, it ain't much he can do anyways. It ain't much he can do but sit there and talk when he goes in there. Like, that's the only thing he could do there. Two, if he just got out of surgery, I don't think he's rehabbing right now. You got to wait, 6 weeks before you can even start rehabbing anyways. Three, if they are trying to move on from him, we don't know what the conversations are behind closed doors in that building. You know, maybe they are trying to move on from him, so maybe they are telling him to stay away from the building. If that's the case, what, are you going to sit there and just sulk? No, he's going to go out there and he's going to enjoy his life. And four, before he got $230 million guaranteed, he was doing the same things as he's doing now. He was posting the same stuff. He's always been this same way. So I don't know why this is even a thing. It's crazy to me that we talking about, y'all worried about a player that can't do anything for this organization right now. Like, what? Who cares? Let him do what he do. I could care less.
By the way,
it's a nice view. I would have been like, y'all should have. Can I go?
By the way,
can I go? That would have been the thing.
Does he even show his face in this?
No.
He does not. He did post a TikTok last night of him in a walking boot before they went out on the porch or the roof or wherever they are.
I don't know why they did this. I could care less.
We need an investigation as to where they are.
This is the problem. You know what, though? This is the problem with social media and anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a false reality for most people, you know, for like the average working people. Like, you see all these celebrities with all this stuff, and it make you jealous, and it make you like, why can't I have it like that? And
because you're not good at anything.
But I'm just
you're
saying,
not good.
But
you don't throw the football.
But like, that's really what it is. It's like, people be looking at these celebrities and be like, man, I wish I could do that, or how they get this and that. Like, I don't even care about this. Y'all, first of all, y'all know I could care less about a vacation. My wife and I will probably, I ain't going to say never.
No, you will take her on a vacation in the next 2 years. I'm going to wear you down.
Like I said, I could care less about the vacation anyway, because I'm here grinding anyway. So that stuff really don't bother me.
It actually pisses me off.
I don't know why.
It pisses me off.
I don't know why.
Because if Tyvis is sitting somewhere with his wife having a good meal,
they'll say somebody gonna comment on it and say, "Ain't you supposed to be at UCSS?"
Nobody would care if it was Tyvis.
Yes, they would.
No, nobody would hate on you.
Yes, they would. They'd be like, "Ain't you the same guy that say you don't take vacations?" I'm telling you, it'd be all on the
counter. That'd be like two people. Now,
you see this in a different light, though. So
to be fair, it would be a joke. It would be a joke if I did it. They dead serious about him.
They be like. Look, here's the thing, man. There's a lot of fans, and this is what makes me mad. And don't act like I can't say nothing about I don't care that you rock orange and brown and you like the Browns. That don't give you carte blanche to say whatever you want to do and act like an idiot. At the end of the day, the dude is living his life. I don't have to apologize for living my life because you feel like you should be somewhere that he is, or you feel like I don't like him, or I don't like what he's doing. The reality of the situation is this is the most ridiculous thing, petty thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's corny. Like, people is living their lives. If you think that you didn't buy Deshaun Watson, you don't own that man. And so when I get up here and tell people all the time, if I was Deshaun Watson, and what I would say, I would tell you to kiss my ass. That's exactly what I would tell you to do. If you don't like me, so what? But I'm not going to sit around here and live under a rock because you don't want nobody to live.
You put something on social media, you open yourself up to criticism.
No, you don't. You don't open yourself up. If you post a picture of your family, at Christmas time,
I don't do that. I don't post pictures of my family.
And you know what? You should have the ability to do that. And if somebody has a problem with that, that's on them. The onus is on those people.
I hear you. Put up my tweet, what I wrote. Put up my tweet.
So Bull saw this and quote tweeted it and said,
So, I thought you were going to read it. So happy for him. He has certainly earned this vacation. Now, what am I doing there?
Being sarcastic.
Are you angry about my tweet?
No.
Be honest. You could be angry.
I
thought it was funny.
Because it's sarcastic, right?
It was funny.
Like, but what you got to understand is people be dead serious acting.
Now,
like, they be like, I can't believe, like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Now, what I'm doing is when I got a player that I have soured on, like Deshaun Watson, like Baker Mayfield before him, like Johnny Manziel before him, like many other guys before him, I poke the bear whenever I get a chance. I don't give a shit that Deshaun Watson's out
Because you don't care.
having a meal with his. Anybody that's actually mad about it,
It's crazy. It's nuts.
it is insane because G is right. Those exact same people, and I'm one of them, are like, I don't want him anywhere near the team. I don't want Deshaun Watson on the sideline. I want him gone.
And this is what I've been trying
But
to.
people also did get mad at me for that, which I think is absurd. Like my man Xavier P. Basically, I love him. Basically, borderline said it was racist to say that. Like, come on, Xavier P.
Listen,
I've busted Baker Mayfield. I've made comments like that about Baker Mayfield a million times more than Deshaun Watson. I love you, Xavier P. You know better than that.
people make jokes all the time.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna make jokes, like that's fine. Like, you being facetious. Like, it's like, okay, that's one of them things. But it's like,
It's a nothing burger. It is.
it's I cannot. And the thing was, I didn't even see it. I was just chilling.
Yeah.
And this at G. Bush.
no, people legitimately got mad about this.
Yeah, they did.
People really like, and Bull, I'm glad that you clarified that you were just being facetious in case anyone didn't pick up on that.
I can't imagine that anybody really thought I was angry about that. Which
But people genuinely did get upset about
I know that
yesterday.
and I guess I could understand why people thought I was really mad. I was making fun of. I was being sarcastic and making fun of him. Yes, I admit that. Am I really mad that he's on a boat with some hot chick? What the hell do I care? Good for him.
Like,
she's gorgeous. Good, nice job.
And he didn't even put himself in the video. He's not even shown. And that just goes to show you all of that stuff people be talking. I said this before. Listen, there's a group of people that didn't like Deshaun Watson because of allegations. There's a group of people that didn't like Deshaun Watson because he didn't play well. And then there's a group of people who liked Deshaun Watson, were all for the move, but eventually got to the point where it's like, this not going to work. He's not playing well enough. We need to move on.
Right.
And then there's a segment of the population that why they don't like Deshaun Watson.
That's right.
You know exactly why they don't. And stuff like this proves it, because it don't matter if he's playing or if he's on the sideline, if he's not on the sideline. We don't want him in the building. We don't want to see him. But he puts it on his personal Instagram, doesn't put his face out, and you got a problem with him eating pasta on a boat. Stop.
We don't even know if he ate the pasta. Did we actually see him eat the
Pasta
pasta?
look good too.
Get up out
I
of here.
want an investigation into where that is because it looks amazing. I want
well,
to go.
you and I were talking last night.
Yeah.
That could be a boat. They could be in Italy. That could be his mansion in L.A. or his fiance, girlfriend, his
See if we can
ladies.
get something from the side there.
But it looks like when you turn, it looks like it's a coastline. I'm not sure if it's a boat.
Yeah.
The camera's going to turn and say.
Pasta look fire.
Pasta looks delicious.
I don't drink wine.
That's
so
more of like
it
a
ain't got
creamy
nothing to
sauce.
do
I'm not a
with
big
me.
creamy sauce pasta guy. I like a red sauce.
Camera's going to pan to the left in 1 second. You
clam
can see
sauce.
what looks like what I think
Pause.
is a shoreline, but
We over
promise
here.
it's going to happen.
We're examining
Yeah.
the video.
Right there, pause it, Steve, pause it. Is that not a hotel popping
That
off
looks like
there?
a hotel there.
Yeah, that's why I think they're on the
It ain't-
coastline
Oh, yeah.
somewhere.
It ain't even.
He ain't even on
I
the
think it's
boat.
like
ain't
Florida,
on a boat.
baby.
Yeah.
That just goes to show you how many of us don't be on boats. We couldn't
Yeah.
even
Yeah, that's
identify
definitely-
that's a whole route.
Jay would have had it broken down in a second. He
That's
would have known that
definitely
wasn't
not
a boat.
But yeah, so who knows? This could be.
I do
his
say
house.
his dogs. He's got to get some manlier dogs.
And by the way,
Let's go toughen up those dogs.
And by the way, it looks like that's a 90s slip on. Like, they ain't even going nowhere. It look like they just homestaying.
You talking about his
yeah,
fiance?
that could be a hotel. like balcony right there.
Good for him, man. Hey,
Slow clap.
Good for him.
Hey, man,
Let's put up a poll. Did Deshaun Watson get some action after this video?
I'm not putting
Yes or
that in
no?
a poll. No.
I can no. Hey,
That
listen.
is a fine-looking woman
Hey,
right
hey,
there.
listen. Shout out to him and his beautiful lady. I don't want no problems or nobody saying nothing. G. Bush didn't say nothing about your peoples. That is up to their. That is their business. Let
Do
that
you
man
think he
leave.
cares? Like, he blocked me on Twitter.
He
So
blocked
he cares. Yeah. Although it's weird now on Twitter. If you block somebody, you could still see their tweets. Doesn't make any sense.
You block somebody and you can still.
I
see
don't
their
block
tweet?
people ever.
Well,
I mean, I
then-
used to, but I
Well,
haven't.
then
in
how do you
years.
know that, then?
Because I could still see his tweets. I noticed that.
Well, he blocked you. So
Yeah.
He can't see your tweets. You can still see his tweets.
Right. But
So-
it used to be if you block someone, you couldn't see their tweets anymore. Now that's not.
I didn't think that.
And remember,
He can't see your tweets. He blocked you.
Well, why would he want? Yeah, all right, fine.
But you can still see his stuff.
remember when people started when we talked about Baker Mayfield, right? We still people.
Did Baker block you?
I believe he did. Yeah.
Remember they used to tell her, "Hey, but the worst thing you can do is go around looking at people's tweets about you so good he blocked you." Like I don't got to see it now.
I don't block you. I don't do that.
The reason I stopped blocking people is because it gives them satisfaction.
Yeah,
You just got to mute them.
Mute
if
is
you-
much
I don't
better.
even
they
do
don't-
that. I don't. Say
I
what you
very
gonna
ra-
say. What
I
you
do
gonna
once in a
say?
while.
Then I'm not.
I do once in a while, but rarely. I never block anybody anymore.
Yeah,
I have probably like 100 people blocked
I
from
have
years
truly,
ago.
I've truly embraced freedom of speech for people. Say what you gonna say.
Hey, listen.
Just because there's freedom of speech. First of all, freedom of speech has nothing to do with Twitter. I don't know why people keep bringing up Twitter in terms of freedom of speech. Freedom of speech in the Constitution has to do with the government's ability to punish you in a way for your speech. It has nothing to do with an independent company. People keep using that free speech. It makes no sense. There's no relevance whatsoever.
say
Number
what
two, just because you have free speech doesn't mean there are no consequences for what you say.
See, I didn't say that.
This has nothing to do with Watson.
I didn't
just
say
in
that.
general.
I didn't
Yeah.
say that part. I
Yeah.
said, say what you gonna say. That's all I said.
Right.
I didn't
Like,
say
I'm
it wasn't
free-
going to be consequences.
I'm free to say whatever I want. Doesn't
I
mean
never
there's
said
won't
it
be
would be
any
consequences.
for what I
Say what you gonna say.
Yeah.
And I,
Let me know how you feel.
We shouldn't be surprised. We just shouldn't be surprised no more. Like, it's just this is where we are when it comes to Twitter and stuff like that. The problem I've always had is this, man. Like, to a certain extent, people believe that amount of money makes you vulnerable to the worst things in the world. Because if you pay me a lot of money, that means you can strip my humanity. If you pay me a lot of money, I'm not a human anymore. If you pay me a lot of money, I can say anything I want to you because the money justifies my rhetoric or what. That's not how, I don't know where people got that from. And I got an issue with that. Like, just because that person has a lot of stuff, it just goes to show you how many miserable people is in life. Like they really value money that much. Like, we talk about it like constantly. And for somebody to literally go out and try to enjoy their life and to just think about it, guys. Yeah. The last time he was on the field, he got booed.
Yeah.
When his career could have been over. And then
career may be over.
His career may be over.
Yeah.
And then now he has surgery. Then after that, we speculate and says we don't even want him in the building anymore.
Yeah.
And now he's just having pasta, and you're like, look at this, you know what, sitting here hanging out, and had a nerve to eat some food, bro. Save that. I don't.
There is a sense of what I do find funny from a lot of people is that people will get angry when a player makes a lot of money, but they don't get angry at the owners that were born on third and think they got a triple.
Well, I think the reason that they are angry at him is because they felt like.
Well, in Deshaun's case, there's more to it. It's not that simple.
Well, no,
but in general,
not even the off the field stuff. I just think that they felt like he wasn't worth the money that he got paid.
Well, he hasn't turned out to be, but whatever. It is what it is.
I think that's what people.
You're worth whatever somebody's willing to pay you.
But even the people that are worth it. So if I go to training camp and I say I need a new contract, you know how many people in the fan base flip on you? When Jamar Chase was like, I want my money. I can't believe Jamar Chase is asking for this money. What's wrong with him? Like,
listen,
I don't know.
Wait a
if there were
minute.
many
Wait a
Bengals
minute.
fans saying that.
Let's pause. Let's say this.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say if that was Patrick Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes Monday night posting that,
Yeah, nobody would care.
My point exactly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, listen.
What are you talking about?
It's not apples to apples, but G is right that in general.
I'm just saying. The reason that people are upset is because they feel like he stole money.
Whoa.
But players do take more crap in general because we know how much money they make, and a lot of people are like, "I should be making that money," and blah, blah, blah. You know it is.
Well,
that's like
there is jealousy
about that part.
I even got a problem with the word "stolen money." That's wild.
He stole some money.
No,
hold on now, because I didn't see people steal some money.
I'm gonna just not show up.
And the NFL wouldn't let me steal none. I'm jealous.
I got right. That's
they wouldn't let me get all this money. These players be just throwing around.
There's an insinuation there when you say stealing money.
It's just
from some people.
It's just come on, man.
That's unfortunately the way the world is.
It's just I'm not and whatever I'm saying right now is not going to change none of them folks' mind.
No.
G. Bush again. He's out here protecting us. Protecting a predator. No. I'm just if it was you, if it was Bob and Illyria, and somebody was doing the same thing to Bob and Illyria, I'd say the exact same thing.
Leave Bob alone.
Bob alone. Let Bob have his pork chop sandwich.
That's right.
Over at the local barbecue spot.
Or pickle